Welcome back. Clocks on the Stove, episode 105. Crazy how we have gone and tracked this time so far. We're looking at college football week 6. We got 6 good games to talk about, and of course, finishing with a draft per usual. Your usual host, myself, Grayson Fisher, with me, holding it down Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Mr. Zach Watts, who I will be
Girl.
accompanying this weekend. Let's dive on into these games, Zachariah.
Yes.
We're getting into that weird stage of like the middle of the season where it's like games in the very beginning are like you don't really know how good they are because you get teams that are ranked high that aren't that good, and like vice versa. But now we're like, all right, the rankings are kind of like solid. There's 5-0 teams, there's 4-1 teams, so the games are starting to get a little bit better. What better way to start us off than with our college game day between the Red River Rivalry, number 12 Oklahoma, number 3 Texas, both teams coming in at 5-0. This is on at noon on ABC. Texas is coming in at a -6.5. Zach, you want to start us off with this game?
Yeah, I'm actually quite shocked that Oklahoma is the favorites heading into this game. And
That Texas -6.5.
yeah, but according to ESPN analytics,
Oh yeah, you're right.
Favorite.
54.6%.
Yeah, they're a favorite, which I was very surprised to see. Look, no disrespect to the Oklahoma Sooners and what they've got going. Look, I love Brent Venables. I think him taking over the head coaching job after Lincoln Riley left was the best case scenario for Oklahoma. You bring in a guy that had previously had already been within the system, and he has a lot of love for Oklahoma, so he really embodies that like Sooner pride. So they were in a good position there. I was a little skeptical about Dylan Gabriel coming over from UCF. I can't remember. Was he at another school after UCF, but before Oklahoma? Or am I?
Committed to UCLA, but then decommitting with Oklahoma.
Okay, yeah, that's why I always thought there was another school in there. But yeah, when he came over, I was very skeptical of it. I had known his accomplishments and how talented he was coming out of UCF, but when you make that leap from a group of 5 football to Power 5 football, you really start to see players whether or not they actually got it. And this dude has it. I mean, he's thrown for almost 1,600 yards this year, 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. They're averaging 352 passing yards a game, so he can sling it. He's very capable of that. So, wanted to get that out of the way first. But, this Texas football team is kind of on a different rhythm right now, the way they're playing football. The way they were able to beat Alabama and the way they've kind of been cruising through their games. I know they had a rough showing against Rice, but, at the end of the day, a win's a win. And if you handle business, that's all that matters. Not everyone has their best day at work, but you still got to show up and clock in. So that's just how it is. That's what Texas has done so far this year. I like what I've seen out of them. Regardless of whether Steve Sarkisian's showing up sober or not, that's not really of my utmost importance so long as you're winning football games. We can put the microscope a little bit closer, once the hot seat gets a little warmed up. But that doesn't seem to be the case. What I will say is if you look at the quality of schedule recently, I think Texas opponents have been a little bit harder. You look at Alabama and you look at, well, Baylor and Kansas aren't really anything, but, I guess it's more so just compared to Oklahoma's last 5.
This is good. They're a good team.
Yeah, they're a good team. And if you look at Oklahoma's last 5, Iowa State, Cincinnati, Tulsa, SMU, Arkansas State. Where's the challenge? I think Oklahoma's been given a lot of respect because they've handled the teams the way they were supposed to. A lot of times you see teams get docked, Florida State, even though they play lower competition and don't win by as much as people think they should. But hey, you got to know when you're facing a weaker or lesser team in the public's eyes, that's going to put a chip on a lot of people's shoulders. They're going to be playing that game with a lot more to lose per se. Like they feel like they've got a lot on the line. So, in terms of quality control or who I think has played a tougher strength of schedule thus far, I am going to lead more towards Texas. I think they're more built for the game. But then again, this is the Red River rivalry. Anything can happen. We've seen so much crazy shit over the years with these two teams. So honestly, it could go either way. It's a huge win if Oklahoma's able to pull it off. And it's even bigger for Texas because I guess it does bring some kind of factual statements to Texas is back at this point. But, if I had a gun to my head, I'm going to take Texas, in my opinion. I just feel like that's
or are you going to take the odds?
You said the line was -6.5 for Texas. If that's the case, I might as well take. I'm going to take Texas -6.5.
So I'm gonna take what
No,
you.
wait, that's so stupid. It's a rivalry game. Give me Oklahoma plus 6.5.
I was just about to say, dude. I was
Yeah,
just about to
yeah.
say.
I oof.
I'm gonna also take. I'm actually gonna buy the half and take Oklahoma plus 7.
Okay.
The reason I'm doing this is, listen, I understand. Let me start one thing. First thing, I agree with you. I think Brett Venables was the most perfect candidate for this role. He already had ties to Oklahoma. He had look at the difference of how since he left Clemson. Look at the impact that had on their program. Unbelievable guy, unbelievable defense coordinator. When you look at Oklahoma, losing Lincoln Riley, you go, all right, we have the offensive weapons and the offensive tools there. We're going to the SEC. We need a defensive mastermind. It's the hardest defensive conference in college football. What they do, they got the best defense coordinator in college football. I think he's a good leader. I think he got a lot, way too much shit last year for how they performed. Bro, this man lost 75% of his roster to USC and the transfer portal. It's going to be hard to just jump in the Big 12 and fucking take over. But he's doing a good job. Texas also, as much as I don't like them, they're good. They're very solid. They have a very good defense too. And this is going to be one of the times where I don't know if we're going to see a shootout scoring wise in this game. I feel like, usually this game is a trend of being a shootout. The other things I want to know real quick. Dylan Gabriel, I've seen all over my Twitter. Like you said, his stats are phenomenal. And I believe he's got some rushing touchdowns too under his belt. Yeah, and he also has 4 rushing touchdowns. And on top of that, he's like the most slept on Heisman guy, like Heisman runner. The other thing is too, I can't remember it to a T, but it was like Oklahoma's as number 1 in offense and defense in yards per play. So their defense is giving up the least amount of yards per play, and their offense is getting the most amount of yards per play. So
That will win you
playing,
games.
what?
That will win you games.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I understand they're lesser opponents, but like they're still playing good teams. They're not playing like shit. And when it comes to this game, you're gonna really see it. This is gonna be the game where it's either Texas is back or it's Oklahoma and Brett Venables are making a name for themselves. Because you're hearing a lot about Texas, but Oklahoma's 5-0 and sitting at 12. And I mean, yeah, that win over Alabama is big for Texas, but besides that, I wouldn't say the resumes are that different. I am going to buy the half and take Oklahoma plus 7 though, because this is a field goal game in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, now I don't know about the part about you saying like, this may be the year we don't get a shootout. I mean, I feel like it's literally written in the contract for this rivalry that you have to score.
It's going to be. It's just the caliber of defenses in this game in particular is better than we've seen in the past.
I agree. But history is doomed to repeat itself. We already know what's going to happen. There's going to be so many, whether it be blown coverages, just guys making insane plays. Like guys are going to show out. It's a rivalry game. You play best when the lights are brightest. So the stars will be out near. It's neutral site? Always, right?
It's in Texas though, but it's neutral.
Yeah. Yeah. Stars are always brightest in Texas. Everything is bigger in
There's
Texas.
a fact I'm trying to find before we open up this next game that I was reading earlier.
Yeah, they should just make the 2 teams recreate the Alamo.
I just saw this today. If I can find it.
Whether or not this fact hits you. While Grayson is looking for that, one thing I wanted to add on to his beginning statement that he said that kind of stuck out to me is he's like, we're getting into that weird part of the year. But I think what's even weirder about week 6 in general is we're starting to see the Wednesday night football games. We got Jacksonville State and Middle Tennessee and Florida International and New Mexico State. I mean, it's quite literally college football versions of, all right, we know you're addicted to football, so we're literally going to put something on Wednesday night because we know you'll watch it. Now, me personally, I have other plans. I will not be watching this game because, quite frankly, I don't care. My love for college football, unfortunately, does not go that deep. And my knowledge doesn't really either, unfortunately. But we learn and we grow every day with you. Grayson, any updates?
No, I can't find it, but I'll try to remember the best that I can. The next game, we have Maryland going to Ohio State. Ohio State number 14 in the country, coming in at a -20 favorite. Yes, most of the time you'd be like, this can be a murder of a game. Ohio State's going to cover. Maryland has put up this so far this season. They're 5-0. They've put up 38, 38, 42, 31, and 44 on the teams they've played. They have beaten everyone's ass. We're talking beat Townsend 38-6. Charlotte, they only beat 38-20. They beat Virginia 42-14, Michigan State 31-9, and Indiana 44-17. Their team is led by quarterback and younger brother Taluya Talia
Julia. Yeah,
Taluya
Julia, something like that.
Tagovailoa, Tua's little brother. He's balling out, 1,464 yards, 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And we're looking at a pretty lackluster Ohio State team for first time I can remember. Kyle McCord, he's not really that guy. I mean, he's not doing horrible, but he's not like when you think of Ohio State quarterback, you think of like top 3 quarterback in the country. He's not a top 10 quarterback in the country. And it sucks. I know there's a lot of pressure on him and stuff, but I'm just trying to speak facts. He's only thrown for 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, and a pick. They're being it's almost to an extent hurting Marvin Harrison Jr. because he's not getting the amount of receptions as he could be getting. He only has 17 in 4 games, which yes, I understand that's still very good, but like I feel like he could be getting abused, especially in those games when they're blowing teams out. Anyways, I do think that that's crazy. The leading receiver Deshaun Jones for Maryland is also a Florida boy. Fun fact. I do think Ohio State wins this game because I think Maryland is overrated, but I don't think they cover -20. I'm going to take Maryland +20. I don't think Ohio State beats them by 20 points. Ohio State only has they only have 2 wins this year by 20 points, and those were Indiana and Youngstown State. Oh no, I lied. They have 3. I lied. Anyways, I'm going to take Maryland with odds +20.
Yeah. So, originally when we brought this up, for all of our fans out there that may or may not know, every time I open up ESPN, there's always an ad that plays. I don't know why. But every time or every year, sorry, that completely distracted me. Anyway, I'm a fan of Florida State football. I'm a diehard fan, but I enjoy watching Ohio State football a lot. Same way Grayson kind of is with Wisconsin. We're diehard FSU fans, but we have other teams that we root for. Ohio State is my Big Ten team. Wisconsin is his Big Ten team. So I do have some bias looking at this game, but I think a lot of the times when people kind of are bringing up like, oh, this game could be an upset, Maryland's not that bad of a team and Ohio State's not really there. Look, when you look at it strictly from quarterback play, I completely agree with you. I do think Maryland has the opportunity to win this game. The problem is it doesn't come down to quarterback play for Ohio State anymore. You brought up about Kyle McCord a little bit where like he's just not that guy anymore. Look, I agree with you. He's not that guy anymore, but he's not bad.
Yeah.
The problem is when your previous years are Justin Fields and CJ Stroud, who are NFL quarterbacks and supposed to be franchise guys, it's kind of hard to put them in the same pool, but they will be under the same microscope. Unfortunately, that's just how it is when you go to those type of schools. There is legacy for a reason. I agree with all the points you made about having Marvin Harrison and Egbuka. These are guys that have to get the ball more, but you're not able to. You're not able to get him the ball as much as you would like. But for the same reason that Ohio State was able to beat Notre Dame, and no, I'm not talking about because Kyle Hamilton put 4 or 10 players on the field. That's not what I'm referencing. Ohio State won that game because everyone else is better than their quarterback. And that's all there is to it. Like they are severely, severely better in every aspect than Maryland. Maryland should not be able to compete roster-wise. And coaching-wise, I'm not the biggest fan of Ryan Day. I do think he was hand-gifted a team and a program that is known for recruiting and is going to get recruits regardless. And I think that's kind of been hand-fed to him, and he won't really run into issues for a while unless they keep losing to Michigan. Then they will be fucked. Pardon my language. I've been trying to cut back on cursing, but I apologize. This stuff does get me fired up. But regardless, I do think Ohio State handles business as they should. With that being said, I'm still taking Maryland with the points.
Yeah, 20 points is a shit ton.
Yeah. So I will still be I'm a fan, but I'm not delusional. Okay. I don't have my tinfoil hat on for the Buckeyes per se.
This next game actually intrigues me a lot. We have number 23 LSU at number 21 Missouri. LSU, they're having opposite seasons. LSU comes in the number 5 team in the country, loses to Florida State, loses to Ole Miss last week, and I think both teams had 700 all-purpose yards of offense. That's insane. And I have a sneeze coming.
Bless you.
All right, we're back. LSU, Jaden Daniels, Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly's not really doing good, getting a lot of shit. Jaden Daniels balling out. Offense is getting they got, like I said, 700 total offensive yards against Ole Miss. Still lost. They're 3-2. People thought they were going to be a playoff team this year, and they are number 23 in the country. Missouri, 5-0. 5-0. I think it's the first time they've been 5-0 in a long time. They are fucking solid. They have a good win over 15 Kansas State, good win over Memphis. They are looking sharp. A couple people I want to shout out. First of all, their wide receiver, his name, Luther Burden. He is leading the SEC in receptions and I believe receiving yards. This man is a dog. 43 receptions, 644 yards, 5 tutties with an average of 15 yards a catch. That's what Marvin Harrison Jr.'s stats should look like. But he doesn't.
Yes.
That's what he doesn't get the ball thrown enough. He's a
Yes.
dog. Their quarterback also, dude. Give this guy a shout out. Let's give him a quick clap for Brady Cook, Missouri Tigers quarterback number 2 junior. He comes out in their first home game, second home game against Kansas State, and the stadium boos him. They boo him for being in the game, and he is so far on the year now is 1,468 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions with a 78.3 QBR, which is 22nd in the country. 22nd in the fucking country. And then their head coach, whose name I do not know, poor journalism, I apologize, after the Kansas State game, gives a old classic Mike Gundy. Don't go after him. He's a kid. Come after me. I'm a man. This guy's got this team back together. Remember, there has been hints of success at Missouri before. There has. We saw
Is his name Drinkwitz or Drinkwitz? I believe his name is.
I don't know. I
think it's
know, to
Drinkwitz.
be honest. But this game also is at noon on ESPN. Damn, we have 3 noon bangers. That is awesome. Yeah. But I'm gonna take Missouri in this game, dude. It sounds insane to say that. I'm gonna take Missouri plus 5.5 at home. They're killing it right now. I do think LSU's the better team. I think it's gonna be one of those weird magical journeys. I'm either gonna get this right or LSU is going to slaughter them. That's all I gotta say. But shout out Missouri. They've been having a sleeper year, killing it. They got some dogs. They do have some dogs, and they haven't get some decent recruits. All I know is I have 2 friends that went to wrestle there in college, and they both transferred out because they said the shit was boring as fuck. But who knows? They're from Florida. Give me Missouri plus 5.5.
Yeah. So this is kind of how I view this game. LSU is only susceptible to losing games to high-powered offenses. Ole Miss, Florida State, only 2 losses on the year. They're giving up on average 429 yards per game. That is atrocious. That does not win you football games. However, you were able to win some football games because your offense is averaging 551. And in a time and place where we are literally in our fastest era of football in terms of playing time, where you get less drives, less chances to score, less opportunities, you're still putting up 500 yards of total offense. You should not be losing games.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, their defense just cannot seem to hold it together. I do think they are in a prime position, though, to get back on track with a rolling hot Mizzou. Look, no disrespect to Missouri and the type of team they have and the kind of run they're on right now. I do respect their win over Kansas State. However, I know they're averaging 450 yards of total offense, but only putting up like 23 points against Middle Tennessee, 35 points against South Dakota, 30, 34, 38. Dude, I don't think you're going to be able to keep up or stop Jaden Daniels. I just don't. I'm sorry. The kid's too good. Now, I don't know what's up with Jaden Daniels this year. I don't know if he is trying to get CTE, but every game I see him get blown up. Popped. Like I not like new era, like good form tackle, really solid hit. I'm talking like here come the boom edits where like back when you were like 12 and 13, you were like, that guy may be dead. Like those type of hits he's suffering like every game. But dude can take it. Dude can take a hit and still deliver the rock. So mad respect to him. I do think a huge factor in this game is going to be Malik Neighbors. He's been solid for them. He's one of the top wide receiving prospects out of LSU. He's been consistent all year round. 40 receptions, 625 yards, 5 tutties. So he's been balling as well. I'm just not sold on Mizzou, unfortunately. I know you're 5-0. I know you have an impressive win over a previously top 25 team in Kansas State. Problem is you're getting into your SEC schedule, and this is where the men get separated from the boys. Everyone does well first couple weeks of the season if you play an easy enough schedule. But once you start getting your conference opponents, it ain't no cupcake, especially in the SEC.
Are you taking money line or odds? Or spread, I mean.
I'm gonna take Mizzou covering though. I'm gonna take Mizzou covering. This may be one of those games where it's whoever has the ball last wins. So I'll take Mizzou with the points. I think it's a safer bet in my opinion.
Our next game is a game I really don't have too many words to talk about, to be honest. We have Texas A&M. Oh, no, I flipped that around. Wait, what? Oh, damn, we have Alabama. Yeah, I messed it up. My bad. We have Alabama going to Texas A&M. Alabama, number 11 team in the country. Both teams are 4-1. This game's CBS at 3:30. All I know is Alabama's back to rocking with Jalen Milroe. He's starting to look better. I think they shouldn't have just thrown him under the bus and just not played him in the USF game. On the other side of things, Texas A&M loses starting quarterback Wegman, and then they get the old LSU quarterback whose name I cannot freaking remember at the moment.
Wait, quarterback for who?
Then they get Max Johnson who comes in, and Max Johnson looks like he was the starter the whole freaking time. 17 for 28, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He looks really good. The offense seemed to be blooming better under him. Texas A&M has never had a defense problem. Jimbo's a very good defensive mastermind. Texas A&M is also known to give Alabama scares in the past. Johnny Manziel era, the last 2 seasons under Jimbo, they play them tight. This is a very scary game if you are Alabama or an Alabama fan or associate or just hate Jimbo Fisher. Alabama's coming in at a -1.5. This game is scary. But the thing is, I'm going to go with this. I think Alabama's defense doesn't get enough credit. And I think Max Johnson ain't that guy. I'm going to take Alabama, and I'm going to just take a money line. Just give me Alabama money line. Boring game. Boring ass game.
By the way, I'm putting on my little tin hat right now. I do have a conspiracy theory that I feel we need to discuss.
It might be on the same wavelength, or I might be completely somewhere else, but I'm intrigued.
I want to say we're on the same page. I think Milroe was benched due to some actions going on.
Exact same wavelength. I don't think it was his play. I think something happened.
I think something happened, but Patriots and Alabama are very similar. Everything stays internal. You didn't hear anything about the Patriots ever having issues. They literally covered up that Aaron Hernandez was a murder until he got caught for it. And then they were like, holy shit. Yeah. And then Tom Brady, people just speculate because no one knows. But with Alabama, it's they've had a long streak of always never having any issues. And then, guy gets benched. And, the problem, it was a great cover up because they had already lost before. So it was yeah, we can kind of say, but you saw the game. Yeah. You saw, they never, yeah, they didn't even consider putting Milroe back in the game.
They put the third string in.
Yeah. Yeah. So as I'm watching it, I'm literally sitting there and I'm going, something happened. I'm I know something happened. And I was obviously it wasn't super bad because I feel you'd be able to tell the vibe is off in the locker room or something. But I just feel he did something he wasn't supposed to. And there's consequences for that. And Saban gave him his consequence. And hey, ever since he's come back for it, he's played solid. He's been great. But back to the game at hand. Look, Jimbo Fisher under that kind of coaching tree of Nick Saban, never really. I mean, has he ever been able to get over the hump against Nick Saban?
Yeah, didn't they? I thought he did beat him once. I thought he beat him last year.
Maybe. Last year? Really? No.
Dude, I feel like he got one.
No. No.
Yeah, 2021. Yeah, 2021.
Okay, 2021.
Jimbo beat him in 2021. And last year they lost They had the ball at 4th and goal, last play of the game, and they didn't score. Texas A&M.
Damn. So yeah, Jimbo's getting closer. He's nipping at the heels, and this is a vulnerable Crimson Tide team. This is a very vulnerable Crimson Tide team. Unfortunately, this is also the same Texas A&M Aggies who have the 5th best composite team in the entire country and lost to Miami. So, unfortunately for that reason, I'm out. As they say on Shark Tank, I'm out on the Aggies. I'm going all in on the Crimson Tide. Roll, Tide, roll. Yeah, give me Nick Saban and the money line. I know the points are there. You say, well, you might as well take the points. This is very much one of those games where they would win by 1 point, and you'd be like, well, I should just take money line. So, like Grayson said, been too close in the past. I don't want to see it. I'm not going to risk it. Just give me Alabama money line. I'm sticking to my guns. I believe in my boys.
I also thought the Jalen Milroe thing was a conspiracy, and I never said anything about it because I never saw anything about it. But it was very sketchy that you have a kid that's a sophomore, and you're Nick Saban, and if a kid has a bad game, didn't even play that horrible, just had a bad game, and instead of being like, we needed time to develop him, he needs to learn, we're just like, yeah, we're benching him right away. Doesn't sound very Nick Saban of him, you know?
Yeah.
And there's no way they put a backup Notre Dame quarterback over him against USF.
And by the way, that backup quarterback, full disrespect. I'm sorry, but you throw like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. It was rough. It was rough.
They suck. Our next game, this next game gives me a LSU Mizzou vibe. I'm going to be completely honest. We have number 20 Kentucky traveling to the reigning, defending, 2-time champions of the fucking world, number 1 in the country, Georgia Bulldogs. Both teams 5-0. Kentucky just routed the Florida Gators last week. This game, 7 p.m. on ESPN. Georgia comes in at a -15 favorite. Zach Watts, you want to start us off with this game?
Yeah, look, I know Kentucky's kind of garnered a lot of hype considering their win over Florida, but to be honest, I still am not that impressed with Florida this year. Also, one thing Kentucky did extremely well in this game against Florida was they were able to run the rock. Pretty sure their running back had like over 200 yards rushing. I've got some news for you, buddy. If you plan on running for 200 yards against the Georgia Bulldogs, unless your name is Reggie Bush, Derrick Henry, or by all means Christian McCaffrey, it ain't gonna happen, unfortunately. And I don't even think any of those 3 guys could have done it back in their college days against this current Georgia Bulldog defense. Now, look, I know Georgia has looked weak in some areas. I know Carson Beck hasn't been as strong as Stetson Bennett was years prior. But this is still the reigning defending champs. This is still the Georgia Bulldogs. They seem to have every game under their control. It just looks like dominant football. They also have a guy who may be the second coming of Rob Gronkowski or Jesus. I can't tell at this point. Brock Bowers, who is an absolute problem over there. And as far as I'm concerned, Kentucky definitely does not have an answer for that man. So he will probably be involved early and often. But looking at this Kentucky team, they are on a roll. They are 5-0. I believe this is the first time in history.
Yeah, you're right.
That both Kentucky teams, Louisville and Kentucky, have both been 5-0.
Yeah.
So shout out the state of Kentucky. I know you for your bourbon, but thank you for familiarizing yourself with your football.
Hey, shout out Jack Harlow, man.
There's 2 things I know about Kentucky. It's bourbon and bats. And tonight, Kentucky Wildcats are bringing out the Louisville Sluggers.
You also know the Kentucky Derby, and Jack Harlow.
Shout out Woody Harrelson and White Men Can't Jump. Yeah. Shout out to the OG Jack Harlow. No matter how good of an actor you may be, you will never ever be Woody Harrelson and White Boys Can't Jump. Unfortunately, maybe that should be our draft. Just Woody Harrelson movies. I don't know. I don't know 5. I think my top 5 may be Now You See Me 2. So that may be it.
You have the Hunger Games. You have
Venom. He's in Venom.
Venom. You have the Zombieland movies.
Oh yeah.
No, we could have done it. We could have done it.
We could have done it.
We could have done it.
Yeah, we could have done it.
What's your pick there?
Yeah.
Who are you rocking with?
Yeah, Georgia. What are the points at right now?
-15.
Ooh, what did Georgia beat South Carolina by?
10. 10.
Yo, then give me Kentucky with the points.
Yeah, they beat South Carolina by 10, and they beat Auburn by a touchdown. They should have lost that game last week.
Damn. Yeah, then give me Kentucky with the points.
So I'm gonna actually be honest. I'm taking Georgia money line. Um, and the reason I am is because the exact same reason you said. The only reason Kentucky's won games and the reason they won that game against Florida is because of Rush Davis. I think his name's Rush. Ray Davis.
I was gonna say if his name was Rush, that he was born to be a
Yeah.
running back. He would have been born to be a running back.
He went 26 for 280 yards, 10 yards average, and 3 touchdowns. That is not going to happen against Georgia. And then if we look at the other thing, they get this quarterback recruiting Devin Leary from NC State, who was like one of the top quarterbacks in the country last year, probably the number 2 in the ACC, 2 or 3 in the ACC. And then he comes here and he sucks ass. He has 10 touchdowns and 5 picks. I mean, he's almost not even 50%. He's 82 for 142. He's terrible. And watching like interviews and breakdowns, they're like, oh well, it doesn't make sense. He made these throws at NC State. You can't make them here. They're the same throws. Well, the thing is, the defensive backs he played in the ACC weren't the defensive backs he played in the SEC. So we didn't have the fear of every fucking pass getting pick six because it's not the same. And if you remember the biggest games they played, he played like shit. Florida State game, got hurt. Clemson game, didn't play well. There you go. Do I think Georgia's going to go out there and rout them? I don't even think Georgia beats them by 15. I don't know. Maybe they do.
Maybe
I don't know. I just think it's saber taking Georgia. Georgia has not looked good. They should have lost to Auburn last week. They low key should have lost South Carolina. I just think they could win a boring 21-7 game. You know what? Give me Kentucky plus 15. I think Georgia still beats them, but I don't think Georgia can spread a 15.
Yeah. I'll agree.
Our last game of the evening is actually a game that I did not think we'd be talking about, and it goes back to Zach's statement of the great state of Kentucky, which I've never been to, which shockingly. Have you ever been to Kentucky, Zach?
Have I been to the state of Kentucky?
I've been I've been to Ohio. I ain't been to Kentucky.
Well, we all know Ohio is not real, so you might as well have been to Kentucky.
It could have been. They were just like, yeah.
It could have been either or. I don't know. I see. Here's the problem because when I went on that road, we wouldn't have passed it. I definitely wasn't in Kentucky. But when we went on our road trip to Omaha and I slept the full on the drive up, I was awake through every state. But on the way back, we took a different route and I just slept the entire ride because I was like, I don't care. I was like, we're driving through states. I like what there's highway and highway.
The moral of the story is you have not been to Kentucky.
Yeah, no, I've not been to Kentucky. And so that doesn't really impact my feelings about this game. Look, we all know my hatred for Notre Dame is sparked because of the movie Rudy. We all know this. He was never really that loved. And even the fact that Joe Montana, or was it Joe Montana, or all I know is there was a great quarterback that came up and was like, yeah, we all hated him.
Like no one even knew who he was.
Yeah, we were like, what? Like the fact that he got a movie, like get out of here. Get out of here with that.
He was
but regardless, there is a player on Notre Dame I actually like now, and it is the heartthrob pause, Sam Hartman. Someone had the funniest joke in the world that I've ever seen is Sam Hartman could never have a corporate email because his email would just be shartman@gmail.com. And I could not stop laughing. I was like, holy crap.
That is a top tier meme right there.
Yeah.
That's
Shartman.
top tier.
No, so his literal school email is probably Shartman at
like Shartman 2024 at nd.org.
Oh my God.
You know us.
Oh, like I just got an email from the Sharp Man. You're like that's terrifying. That's terrifying. Unfortunately,
teacher's like, honey, what's your email? Shartman. Yeah, okay. No jokes in my classroom.
Yeah, get out. Get out. Get out. What? It's literally there. It's literally there. Regardless. He probably enjoys giving like presentations because he's probably at the he's like, if you have any questions, you can just email me at Shartman.
No, he's a guy's guy. He's a guy's
Yeah.
guy.
He definitely doesn't
You
go
see
to
that hand
class.
signals where
Yeah.
sideline. He's like,
Dude, I saw a joke about that. It was like, guys, you're completely misinterpreting it. At home, you see that as a joke. At him, he's telling him cover 3. He's calling a cover 3.
But yeah, going into this game, number 10 Notre Dame coming in at 5-1 at number 25 Louisville 5-0. It's on ABC at 7:30. I'm not gonna lie to you. My whole life hated Notre Dame. I am low key a Notre Dame bandwagon fan right now.
Yeah.
I really like Sam Hartman. 96 for 145, almost 1,500 yards and 14 touchdowns, no picks. And I really like Audric Estime. 95 carries, 672 yards and 2 touchdowns. They are a fun fucking team to watch, bro. They're good. I like Freeman, their coach, Marcus Freeman. I like Notre Dame this year. It's weird. I never liked them in my life. I really like them this year. They're really put together. And we said it in the end of the year pod last year. It was like Notre Dame was a Sam Hartman away, and then they got him. You know, this Louisville team's they're cool. They're rocking. I mean, they're running back. Their running back Jawar Jordan. He's doing very well. 66 carries, 510 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Plummer is their quarterback though, and he's just not that guy, brother. 11 touchdowns for 6 picks. He's really not Himothy. I don't know if he started there last year. I actually don't know anything about this kid to be honest. But they're not like killing teams. Like they beat Georgia Tech by 5. I mean, they blew out Murray State. They beat Indiana by a touchdown. They almost beat Boston College by 30, and they beat NC State at NC State by 3. They're not really like filthy. They're just like solid. I'm gonna take Notre Dame minus 6.5, even though it's at Louisville, which we've seen Louisville night games be crazy before. They're just not the same, in my opinion. No disrespect to them. I'm just all in on the Notre Dame train.
Yeah. I really
Also,
like Notre Dame.
I'm sorry, the video Notre Dame dropped on Twitter of the last 5 minutes of the Duke game behind the scenes. One of the hardest. Have you seen it?
No, I have not yet.
It is one of the hardest videos I've ever seen in my life. You need to go watch it. It's a 5-minute clip, and it's just the behind the scenes of the last 2.5 minutes of the Notre Dame Duke game when they came back to win. And it's just like all the coaches, what they're calling, what they're saying on the headsets, what Sam Hartman's saying. They're all mic'd up. It's fucking awesome, dude. You got to watch it. You got to watch it. I'm a Notre Dame fan right now. I'm not gonna lie. I hate Notre Dame, but right now I like them.
I can feel the Catholic entering my body, and it ain't the priest. Anyway, back to the game at hand. Yeah, I'm gonna ride with Grayson's pick on this. I like Notre Dame, and I like the pick. Look, Louisville's a solid program this year, but ESPN does tend to do a thing where they hype teams up only to watch them fail. And I feel like they just they gave the courtesy Kentucky shout out to both Kentucky teams, only for both of them to lose in terrible fashion this week. So that's kind of how that's gonna play out. So no disrespect to them, but yeah, Sam Hartman. Ever since that Ohio State loss, I feel like he's got a thing to prove. Also, shout out Sam Hartman and Cade Klubnik for making my bets hit. I bet both of them to not throw picks, and neither of them did throw picks. So shout them out. Neither of them have picks on the year. So
two good Christian boys.
Yep, 2 good Christian boys, and one of them plays with his own rib on his necklace. So, little weird, but also
little
hard.
Weird, but a little hard at the same time.
Yeah, little weird, little hard. Yeah, for sure. I was gonna try to find a joke somewhere in there, but I think the jokes write themselves. So we're not gonna touch on that. Anywho, moving on. Yeah, give me Notre Dame. With the points at minus whatever they were at. What was it? Notre Dame minus
6.5.
6.5. Yeah. Give me Notre Dame minus 6. What's our next game?
That is our last game of this weekend. It is everyone's favorite time of the day. Draft
time. We are
I don't have a draft on my mind, Zach Watts.
What was the one? Oh, the one we've kept pushing off for so long. We brought it up and we never got around to doing it. We were gonna do it with Phil, but he brought up a different one. Did we do best football food? Oh, we did. Yeah. We did. Yeah, we did do best tailgating foods. Never mind. You know, we touched since we're in the midst of the college football season, should we do our top 5 best college game day rituals?
I thought you were gonna say top 5 favorite college football games you ever watched.
We could do rituals, games we watch, or like, you know how certain teams have songs they play during games, not trying to like
Traditions.
traditions. That's the word I was looking for. Should we do our top 5 traditions?
I don't know if I can do 5, but I could try.
You can 100% do 5. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, you're right. I could do 5. Yeah. You want to go first?
If anything, no, because I brought it up, I feel like you should get the courtesy
No,
of
no,
one
no,
pick.
because our first is gonna be the same, so I'm letting you take it.
Well, then we say it at the same time.
It's Chief Osceola.
Garciola, yeah.
Here,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Just making sure. So unanimous number 1.
All right, I'll go. Yeah, unanimous number 1 is Chief Osceola planting the spear, but he only plants it when he plays Florida.
Yes.
He only plants it when he plays Florida. Or excuse me, he only gets off his horse to plant it when he plays Florida.
Yeah, because I remember reading about this. I believe when he stays on the horse, it's for battle, but if you dismount the horse, it's war.
Yeah.
Which is so hard.
So we declare war on Florida.
War. Yeah, we declare. God, that's so hard.
My number 1 is going to be the Wisconsin jump around.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. Yeah, Wisconsin jump around. But I mean, honestly, though,
actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I can think of 100 traditions.
Exactly, like
they're flowing through my brain tubes.
Yeah. Okay. This one, oh my god. See, with recent success, it makes me, or with recent disaster, it makes me not want to pick them.
Nah, tradition has nothing to do with level of success.
Yeah. I want to do Virginia Tech Sandman.
Yeah, that is insanely lit. Yes.
Yeah. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. There's just no way. Yeah. Enter Sandman. By the way,
I'm sorry, you go.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this. When Virginia Tech, I think they were playing Miami a couple years ago, and it was like big 4th down or big 3rd down, and the crowd's like amped, but they were just coming out of a timeout, so kind of kill momentum, and the fans were going, and the audio guy played Enter Sandman in the 4th quarter, just out of nowhere, and the whole, like, if you go back and watch that video, that is like, if I was a quarterback on Miami, I would have shit my britches on the spot. I would have been like, we're done. We're like, there is no chance we are converted. And the players are just like hyped up, bounce around. You're like, yeah, you pretty much signed your death warrant calling that timeout. But yeah,
college football is more fun when Virginia Tech's good. I completely agree with that.
Yes.
The thing is, I have 2 of them, but I think you'll say one and not the other. So I'm gonna try to steal the one that I don't want you to take. I'm gonna do the Penn State whiteout.
Okay, see, that's the one I was gonna say.
That's what I was saying. That's why I held the other one back.
Okay, so you're gonna do Penn State's whiteout. Interesting. Penn State whiteout. Damn. See, second pick is hard because
I got him going. I got more. They're just
see, I brought it up and like my brain isn't going. Like I'm slacking. I'm like trying to think of when I watch like college football. Like what makes me sit there and I'm like, oh my god, this like I want to be there so bad right now. Dude,
you're killing the vibes right now.
I know, dude. I
just look it up. Just Google it.
I'm like
best college football traditions.
Yeah, I want to like what the problem is. What's on my mind right now, but I want to save it for later. But I can't think of anything else. Is Georgia when they black out the stadium and they turn on the red lights?
Yeah, that's just tough. And then it's not like all red. It's like bam, 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 bam.
Yeah. Honestly, nah. Fuck that. Fuck. Who does Darude Sandstorm? Oh, I
know you're talking about.
Oh my god.
Oklahoma State.
No. It's
South Carolina.
Yeah. South Carolina. Yeah. When they were like peak and that song will go off, that is insane.
All right, you
That
got to
is
be
insane.
ready because I'm about to rip another one right away.
All right, go for it.
The Iowa Wave,
Oh, to the
the Children's Hospital.
Children's Hospital. Yeah.
I am
Very, very
all Big Ten right now.
yeah. I didn't realize I love Big Ten football that much.
Well, they are like very tradition heavy.
Yeah, huge tradition heavy. I am, since it is my team, I think I do have to say this. I'm gonna go with Ohio State's marching band pregame.
Okay.
That's just always been huge for them. It's a huge part of the shoe, being in the horseshoe up there. So I am gonna say for my number 3, Ohio State. Your number 2, your number 3 was the Iowa Wave. That's what it was.
Yeah. I had another one. I just lost it low key.
By the way, my first 2 picks were Sandman and Sandstorm. So
yeah.
yeah,
I'm
consistency.
gonna go with give me the rundown at Death Valley, Clemson, Howard's Rock.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay. So you're going
I had
Clemson.
another one though, dude, and I can't remember what it was.
Wait, you said Clemson. What's it called?
Howard's Rock.
Howard's Rock. Yes, like their entrance pretty much. Yeah, by the way, I think it was a couple years ago. When for some reason, I don't know why they did this, there was like a 30-minute ESPN broadcast where they showed them getting on the bus.
Oh, I remember that. That's when they played Georgia, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like
20 minutes long.
Yeah, 20 minutes. I'm like, dude, they don't need to be doing this. I'm like, this is like a little too much going on right now. So I don't really know if I like that. But I mean, hey, anything to fill up the time in your time slot, I guess. Let me see what other ones are coming to mind. I know when I
really good one, I can't remember it now.
That one's good, but not really what I want. I kind of want to shout this out just because it. Oh yeah, the Ohio State one, by the way, the official name for it is called Dotting the I. Yeah, it's what they do. And it's huge. Damn.
It's a good one that I had and I can't freaking.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to shout it out since it's this week. The Sooner Schooner.
Yeah, that too with the Bulls.
Yeah, when they run out there with the Bulls. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Give me the Oklahoma Sooner Schooner. Who is your 5th and
I got one in mind right now, but it's not the one that I had, and it's really bothering me.
Should we go through every single football team in the country?
I'm gonna just rock with this one. I'm gonna go Texas A&M 11th man.
12th man.
12th man, yeah.
Yeah, the 11th man happens to be on the field.
Yeah, the 12th man at Texas A&M.
Yeah. Okay. My final one. This is merely for prosperity stakes, and just because I'm an American, you must know this tradition. If not, I feel sorry for you. The Army-Navy game.
Oh damn! I thought you were gonna say War Damn Eagle.
No, when they pack the house with literally just a bunch of soldiers and their uniforms, it's sick.
Yeah,
it's sick. My favorite Army-Navy game ever was when it was pouring rain and no one left. No one moved. Like everyone just stayed.
We could go to one. That'd be a fucking awesome game to go to.
That would be. I bet you tickets aren't terribly that expensive.
They probably ain't cheap.
Yeah, considering we aren't military, we probably won't get a discount for that one, brother. But yeah, give me the Army-Navy rivalry. I'm trying to think of some honorable mentions.
You got the cowbell at Mississippi State.
Fuck the cowbell.
It's still a cool tradition.
Yeah, I guess. Shout out Penn State. They could have 2 on here. They recently added their Mo Bamba.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You
have the LSU one. What's that? Suck that tiger dick.
Oh, neck.
Yeah, neck. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Neck.
Dude, there's a big one that I had and I can't fucking remember it.
See, if Alabama really wanted to go hard, they would paint an elephant red and they would just like let it loose on the field.
You got the War Damn Eagle at Auburn.
Auburn also, this is more post game though. After they get a big upset, they have that tree
They
that they throw.
TP it.
Yeah. By the way, one of the biggest sports tragedies that no one ever talks about is when that guy poisoned that tree, that Alabama fan.
I don't know about this.
You've never heard about this?
No.
Dude, this was national headline. Hold on.
Did he go to prison?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Auburn tree poisoning sentence.
Oh my gosh.
5 years on supervised probation and an $800,000 in restitution.
Holy shit. Did people die?
No, he just poisoned the tree. It was gonna kill the wait.
Oh, he was trying to kill the tree.
He poisoned the tree.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that they always like do their celebration on. Hold on, me.
Can I give a story real quick while you're looking that up?
Damn, they were removed. The original Auburn oaks planted between 1937 and 1939 were removed from the corner in April 2013 after being poisoned in 2010.
That is sad as fuck.
Yeah, so rest in peace to the tumors tree. Rest in peace.
I want to give my. Can I give my favorite college football game memory? This isn't a game.
If you,
This isn't my
if,
favorite. Listen, this isn't my favorite game memory. This is my most memorable college. Like watching college football. I mean, like I fucking love this shit. It was my freshman year of high school, so 2014. Ole
2014.
Miss is playing Alabama. I was low key a big Ole Miss dick rider because they had that like land shark defense. They had the sick unis. They had Bo Wallace with the fucking lettuce. They had a dog team, and this was supposed to be like their year. They're hosting Alabama. Alabama's number one team in the country. They're like 15. It's also my first ever homecoming. So I have homecoming that day too. And this game is like 3:30. So I remember like having to watch it on my phone, the second half on my phone. And it was just the most like awesome experience ever. Like the beginning of college, I watched the whole college game day. The beginning of the college game day was just like they go to different barbecue pits and the Ole Miss tents and they're rating them. Then Kenny Chesney plays American Kids acoustically. And I started being like, this is so fucking American. And I hated Alabama at the time. And then Bo Wallace, who sucked ass, and Ole Miss beat Alabama. They went up beating them 2 years in a row. Beat Alabama. And it was like, I remember being at like a homecoming pre-party and I was like cheering and everyone's looking at me like I'm fucking weird. And I remember that moment being like, I fucking love college football. Like this is fucking college football.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like my fall in love with college football moment. I think it would have to be back when I was 9 years old. I remember being at my older brother's house in Brooksville, and we watched. I want to say we watched the Boise State Oklahoma hook and ladder.
Damn.
Because I believe that was 2008, if I'm not mistaken.
2008 or 2007, yeah.
Yeah, because Adrian Peterson was on Oklahoma at the time. They were dogs. And I just remember watching that game and like just being like, as a little kid, you're just naturally drawn to the underdog. Like, that's just who you are. You want to vote for the team no one likes. It's just kind of how it is. And when Boise State pulled that off, that's also, by the way, shout out Kellen Moore, who's a quarterback, is now offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys or quarterbacks coach, something like that.
Yeah.
But
OC.
yeah, that was when he pulled off that Statue of Liberty on 2-point version. And then the dude proposed to his girlfriend. So like there was so much shit that just happened in that game where you're just like, what is happening? But yeah, I think that game would be solidified as like the greatest just visual spectacle I've ever seen in my entire life. If not that, 100% 2013 national championship, Florida State.
Oh, yeah.
Not even close.
Oh, yeah. I was at the Orange Bowl when they played Michigan.
Yeah. The Michigan game, I nearly lost my mind when the dude fumbled the kickoff and then picked it up. And I was like, dude, just take a knee. And then he runs it out and gets all the way to like their 30. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, Florida State not winning football game. But yeah, that was yeah. Oh,
And that's everything we got. College football.
One more thing.
Uno mas.
Biggest regret I ever had about college football. My brother was playing in like the USSSA 13U All-Star game. And he was gonna pitch, baseball, and he was gonna pitch like the later innings. And me and my dad were watching the Iron Bowl. And we left as Auburn was kicking the field goal.
As all Alabama was kicking the field goal.
As Alabama was kicking the field goal.
Damn.
When we got to my brother's game, everyone was losing their fucking minds.
Bro, I was so happy. I watched it live, and I was so happy because I was like, Florida State doesn't have to play Bama.
Yeah. Well, I was more mad for my dad's sake because my dad is a diehard Auburn fan, and the fact that he missed that, I was like, oh my God. I was like, no. I was like, we missed great.
And like, don't talk to me for a week.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God.
How was that national championship between Lori and Ken?
Well, my dad is a Florida State fan because he grew up being a Florida State fan, but he graduated from Auburn. So it's kind of one of those. So like in his mind, he couldn't lose.
Yeah.
He has a commemorative glass 6-pack Coke bottles made specifically for the Auburn Florida State game that he's never gonna open. It's just
my dad has the glass bottles from when they won the 1999 national championship.
Yeah, so you see, dads have a weird
dad Coke bottle thing.
Every dad
weird Coke bottle thing.
Yeah, your dad is not a true football fan if he doesn't have some abstract form of college football memorabilia somewhere in his house.
My parents also last thing. My parents also have a box of Wheaties with the for the year that Bucks won the Super Bowl in 2002. It's a Buccaneers Wheaties box.
Oh my God, dude! We had something else. We had a signed painting of John Gruden, which was like it was John Gruden painted as Chucky, and he was crumpling up like a Raiders paper, and it was signed by John Gruden. It was dope as shit.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it hung in my house forever. I'm pretty sure I broke it fucking around in the house. That because who knows? And then we also have like a Super Bowl poster. But yeah, I sat through years of terrible Bucks games growing up. So thank God I was a Patriots fan somehow. But
now it's vice versa.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I can't wait for our NFL pod. I know we're gonna have Matt McDonald on, but the Bucks are winning me over, man. Baker's that guy.
Baker's the guy, man. Baker's the guy.
I'm not a bandwagon. I still watch every Patriots game and want to kill myself after, but it's at least a little better knowing that I have something to look forward to when the Buccaneers play on Sunday. Because I will be tuned in. And it's not blacked out in my area because, I actually get teams that live in my state, which is cool. So that is dope.
Shout it out, college football.
These are